And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 1294. Today is Tuesday, February 11th, 2025, and I'm King here to bridge the gap between the community and crypto every day, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. ish. Today's top stories: Ethereum short position surge 500% as hedge funds bet on decline. Grayscale, New York Stock Exchange, ARCA filed to launch US based spot Cardano ETF. CFTC announces crypto fraud action after enforcement priorities shift. Crypto broker breaks ankles while fleeing kidnappers in Spain. And meme coins and other crypto sets explode as 19th U.S. state introduces a Bitcoin bill. Looks like I was off a few states yesterday. But first and foremost, of course, let's go ahead and take a quick look at these crypto prices and see what's been shaking over these last 24 hours. And of course, not much. We have been in a little bit of, I wouldn't even consider this chop. Usually, chop is when you actually get that 5 to 10, maybe even 12% swings on a daily basis, up and down, up and down. We haven't even been getting chopped recently. We've really been staying between like 3 to 5%. So, I don't even consider that chop or even like, I guess like some slow sideways movement is what's going on now. It's probably going to be going on here for the near future. But Bitcoin's at $97,000, down 0.37% on the 24-hour clock. By the way, I think it's fair to say that while it wasn't a sell the news event, the election, the price was already baked in from the coming months from when he first announced everything. And then, of course, got elected, or excuse me, the inauguration. The price was already baked in for the inauguration. So the inauguration wasn't a sell the news event, but we definitely haven't gotten a crazy pump since then. I think we got up to like 108, 109 that day. Ethereum's at $2,660, up 0.1%. We'll be talking about them today. XRP, $2.47, up 1.66%. Solana, number 5 at $199. Looks like that is down 2.5%. BNB, number 6 at $634, up 5%, 5.16% specifically. Number 8, Dogecoin, 26 cents, up 3.18. And number 10 is, well, you know what? Number 9, Cardano, since we're talking about them, 79 cents, up 12.5% on the day with the news of an ETF. You got to love it. I said this is going to happen. Tron at number 10, 24 cents, up 2.77%. Fear and Greed Index has jumped 2 points to 37. Bitcoin dominance at 60.25, and Ethereum dominance has slipped even more to a 10.03%. Listen, here's the real deal, and it's messed up. I'm making calls today. Believe me, I got a whole call list I'm making for the hedge fund and the news people and everybody who watch this show and make real life decisions. Just give me a little shout out, give me a little tap on the back, because I refuse to believe I'm just guessing right every other day for the last 6 years. And then the next day, the articles come out from something I've covered like a day before, a week before. It keeps happening. It's been happening for years. I know some of them are watching. It's all good. Just hey, shout me out. Bring me into the conversation is all I'm asking, folks. Top story of, let me give some shout outs real quick because we're about to get into this. Wisdom Bars, what up though? Just inform you, Knez Martin, Joshua Banks, TL. It's funny, I always look at the comments, make sure I'm not muted. Zyro, Chloe Dior, good morning, everyone. Let's roll straight into it. First, Ethereum short position surged 500% as hedge funds bet on decline. I don't know why I can't say that properly. As hedge funds bet on decline. I've been saying this literally for like the last few weeks. I'm like, yo, is anybody noticing what I'm noticing right now? Like, this is over. This show is over. Once again, I'm not going to do the whole rant on Ethereum because I've literally done it yesterday, I think the day before, and like or last week, and 3 times throughout the last few weeks, I've done this Ethereum rant. So I'm not going to go on the full rant. What I will say is yes, if in March Ethereum's upgrade does not, I don't care, we got the smart contract to connect this to do that, and it drives your car, and the robot will cook your food, and it will protect you all at the same time, and they'll go vote for you. No, 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 no. If Ethereum by the end of March cannot fix their gas fees, I am not saying it is a dead project, but they are about to aggressively lose market share. The writing has been on the wall. These are corporate folks who, for the first time, they're getting to this space where they have. So, what's different about these corporate folks and these institutions than us and the even retail investors and even some accredited investors is that they have enough capital to come in here and change generations like immediately, right? So the last thing they want is to be stuck in a dead or a slow moving project when their friends are putting in the same amount of money into other projects. You're looking at again We can just talk about mention Cardano today, right? You got some of these folks, these institutions who have pumped millions of dollars, $100,000 or whatever into Ethereum, and then they're looking at their friends pump money into Cardano and getting these same, if not larger returns in a shorter amount of time. Now, of course, that happens with new projects, new communities, blah blah blah. We've seen this happen over and over again. But Ethereum, there's an actual real value problem there, and that's the gas fees. It's not saying the platform doesn't work or isn't novel or they don't have all these great things going for it, but it costs too much money to use it. And this is from somebody who doesn't mind spending the money to use it. But right now, for the most part, the are outweighing the benefits, right? If you got to do 3, 4, 5 transactions on Ethereum, if you do it at a high peak time, you could legitimately be giving them what, 12 to $1,500 of transaction fees. Is out. I mean, I've done it. I know this for a fact. So we don't need to go into detail. We know the reasons why. I guess I'll skim through the article, see if they bring up anything else. But it's the gas fees, folks. If they don't fix this gas fee issue in the next, again, 2 months, month and a half, I think we will slowly see them drop to maybe 6%. We'll see them go so low as far as market share. They won't be on the top as far as how it says Bitcoin 60%, Ethereum 10%. If they drop to 8 to 7%, two things are going to happen on CoinMarketCap and other sites similar. We'll either stop seeing Ethereum being listed as a percentage, as a market share percent, or we'll see the competitors start to be listed as well. So, for example, we'll see a Bitcoin at 65%, we'll see Ethereum at 7%, we'll see Ripple at 4%, and then maybe we see Solana or something at 1.5%. But in a minute, they're going to have to stop listing it as this percentage thing, as it's doing some big project. There's 11 million other cryptos out there. As someone said yesterday, a lot of competition. Ethereum, you are no longer the darling baby for the corporate entities. And here's the other thing I want to mention too. It won't be as bad because of the Trump administration, but you got to remember, Ethereum has been like the little brother that's been shielded from the bullies, right? Like Ethereum thinks they're tough and they can fight and everything else, but in reality, it's like, no. You had a lot of corporate sponsors, institutions, people who are actually Bitcoin maximalists who are trying to be geniuses, who weren't the genius the first time, were trying to show their worth this second time through an Ethereum. Essentially, you had a lot of protections going for Ethereum to where it should have already failed or at least lost market share many times over again, looking at gas fees and other issues they had and different upgrades and the forks, even going back to Ethereum Classic and Ethereum as we know now, that fork because of their DAO that essentially was hacked or lost money, whatever, right? It has been shielded so much that they don't understand they're actually showing themselves to be a weaker project or a low value project. Other projects don't get this type of shielding, A. And B, let's talk about a political shielding. Do you remember Gary Gensler being asked in front of Congress or Senate or whatever, like, is Ethereum a security or not? And he was just like, oh, well, I don't da da da. That's because you had banks behind it. You had institutions, you had corporate individuals behind it. The moment that's gone, which is about to happen now that these hedge funds are going against you, it's open season. Now, again, I don't think it'll be that bad because we have the Trump administration. They're not going after crypto companies. So you're kind of lucky there. But if it had been this last administration coming back, oh, they would, and you've been friends with Russia? Oh man, Ethereum, they would have like what they would have strung y'all up and hung you out to dry as soon as these hedge fund people started to bet against you. So I want to pay a close attention to Ethereum here in the next couple months. Now that hedge funds are actually saying, hey, we don't believe in this either. These are institutions turn the tide, and this could be something damning for Ethereum. Again, this is Ethereum. They may also lack fundamental blockchain activity for an Ether price recovery, analyst told Cointelegraph. I always wonder who these analysts are. Just say King. Just say King from the gentleman of crypto told Cointelegraph. Do all the articles after me. Hedge funds are wrapping up their short positions on Ether as the world's second largest crypto struggles to gain traction. Again, I would load up shorts as well, unless you're really. I take that back. This isn't investment advice. So I'm not gonna say I will load up shorts. What I will say is this: um, if the upgrade in the next month or so doesn't solve some of their issues, those who have loaded up on shorts will see like a nice, pretty return. On the flip side, if this upgrade does fix some issues, then no, the short play will suck, right? But I'm along the thought process of right now, Ethereum shorts are in as well. Again, they're saying this past year has only risen 5.9% underperformance compared to Bitcoin, which surged 104%. So think about how many institutions are pissed off they have so much capital in Ethereum when Bitcoin did what it's done. And then you have Solana and some of these other ones coming next. Short positions on Ethereum have risen by over 40% within a week, according to February 7th X post. It just goes to show how many people are watching this show or listening, at least on the Apple, just to let you know. The pile up in Ether shorts soared by a stunning 40% in 1 week to the highest on record. Zero Head said you can see it stacked up right here. Again, I agree with it. Not only that, you have to remember, I was just about to say CFTC, CME, they're talking about Ether Cash being settled. You got futures out there, you got Bitcoin ETF. So a lot of this could be insider knowledge on what institutions are planning to do as well. We know these hedge funds talk to each other. So it could be as simple as one or two people say, I'm getting rid of my node or I'm getting rid of my leverage position. And then other hedge funds being like, well, if so and so doing it, we gone too. And all because one person, one analyst, one great hedge fund manager is watching or listening to the Gentleman of Crypto. Shout out to you, kind sir, man. Shout me out back. We saw the effects of this extreme positioning on February 2nd. Ethereum fell negative 37% in 60 hours as a trade war headlines emerged. Again, I don't think this has anything to do with the trade war. It has to do with the overall market as a whole, what's making money and what's not making money. And right now, Ethereum is as stagnant as they come, if not on a slow downward spiral, I would think and assume. Because again, if you're any type of analyst looking at the technical or at least the fundamentals, the way I do it, there's no reason they should not have just hit 4K in this market that we just had, this little mini bull market, with the exception of them not having the value to show for, which is crazy because most tokens, it doesn't matter if you have the value, right? If you have the community, you have the enthusiasm, you have all these little things working, it'll bolster that price. And they still weren't able to get over that hump, which to me signals that a lot of people are done and over with it. They're ready for the next best thing. Ethereum has found themselves in the shoes of Bitcoin. The only problem is that Bitcoin matured, like fully matured, and you're just seeing right now, whereas Ethereum might be caught in the crosshair to where they might not be able to mature, right? It might be one of those things. What happens in the animal kingdom when the animals like get rid of or like leaves the weaker animal and like takes the strong ones with them. This might be one of those things where it's like the market might leave the weaker crypto behind. And right now, when you're looking at Ethereum competitors, Ethereum itself is looking like a weaker crypto. Dang it. I went on a small mini rant. I didn't mean to do it. All right, I'm gonna look at the comments in a second. Let me look at the comments actually right now for this one. Zyra will say, I can see the shorts being liquidated before we really go down. I'm betting on one last sharp rise, then 2-year bear market begins. Okay. I think you're talking about overall shorts. These were just Ethereum shorts, but I can see that overall as well. Let's see. Rants, Kendrick K, what's up? Said social media influencers like Alex Becker keep talking about a coming Ethereum pump, folks who are in it for the tech. Yeah, ha ha ha. Again, they do have the upgrade coming in March. Normally, Ethereum upgrades do give you a pump just off the hype of it, right? Everybody's Ethereum, they're doing something different. But I'm thinking this buyer's fatigue right now. I'm thinking, listen, if you've been invested in Ethereum, and at this point, you have no choice but to be invested in Ethereum for the technology. You have to scream technology in Ethereum now, because if you're screaming money, everybody's gonna be like, there's better plays in that. So you kind of have to scream technology, which is counterintuitive when you're thinking Ethereum, proof of stake, and things like that. But um, yeah, it may be that pump for the upgrade because they always get it, is hype around it and things like that. But I'm thinking even if they get it, it might be a 5 to 7% pump for 2 days max before we see a crazy 13 to 16% dip after people realize the gas fees aren't working. And then after that, another slow 8% dip probably over the next 2 or 3 weeks. So again, after the upgrade, give it about 5 to 6 weeks. And if there's no motion, ooh, wee, it's not going to look good, I think. Let's see. Ali Pio said, great way to describe it. It's always been the gas fees. That's the problem. That's it. It's always the gas fees. Did Don Jr. say buy it? Like, who's Don? Oh, his son. Yeah, his son said buy it. He was trying to pump it up recently. I thought you were talking about Don King for some reason. I don't know why. Landon said Ethereum 3.0 is 2 to 3 upgrades away, though. But this new smart wallet upgrade is finna go crazy. All right, we'll see. We will see. Again, I'm hoping, because the smart contract was a great idea, but it's just like if you can't use it, then what is the point? Did you see Binance sold 99% of Ethereum stock, 99% of Solana, and 94% of Bitcoin in January? I didn't, but Binance has a lot of corporate things going on and compliance issues on the background. So I'm not sure how much is an investment move versus how much is a where it is trying to be in compliance move or whatever. But it's definitely telling if you're selling Ethereum and Solana. I mean, they're probably loading up on Cardano, which is the next story. Grayscale New York Stock Exchange ARCA filed to launch US based spot Cardano ETF. Folks, the headline is the story. And again, this is another one I've ranted about. It's going to be all of them. Definitely everything in the top 10. Everything's about to get, they're going to just like you said, anything that can be tokenized will be tokenized. Anything that is tokenized will be derivativized. Yeah, I'm making up new words. All right. Anything that's tokenized, they're going to create a derivative around it. All right. They're going to create an entirely new market around it. Why? Because it's too much heavy lifting for the analysts and these traders themselves to even learn this stuff, to even learn. Like, the, the folks, well, Grayscale excluded, but New York Stock Exchange folks, they're not about to learn what the hell Cardano is and how it works. I mean, for one, the people in the crypto space don't know what Cardano is or how it works because they don't have a product, right? Like no one knows. But let's just say for real, they actually had like a working product and things were moving of this sort before they got an ETF. How crazy is that would be? You know, I'm being facetious, right? They're getting an ETF while having a real working product, or anything of the sort. They're getting a ETF off of hearsay. And again, I think everyone's going to do that. Now, for Grayscale, again, this makes sense. They have the knowledge. For the New York Stock Exchange folks, they're like, we don't understand crypto already. We're not trying to understand crypto because it's counterintuitive to what we've done with institutions and banking for the past however many years, as well as our customers and clients. They don't want to get to know crypto and stuff because a lot of them are anti-technology in general. So what's the next best thing so we can continue to make money off this market without being in the market? And that's to add derivative plays to get people confused, to get people lost. And in 5 to 6 years, you can pull the biggest rug pull we've ever seen where you say, yeah, no, we didn't tell you. 2 Satoshis equal 10 Bitcoin ETFs. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Half of a Cardano equals 1,000 Cardano. I'm telling you all that will come eventually. It might be some years down the road, but it's going to come. And it'll be interesting if it comes publicly or privately. But the bottom line is this: Grayscale is working with New York Stock Exchange, ARCA, to file and launch a US based spot Cardano ETF. I don't think any of these may go through the first round, to be fair, because it's just too new and too early, even with the new administration. I don't like if the new administration pushes through this ETF as well as like some Solana stuff. I think they were trying to, if they push these through, it will be exactly what I said, pushing it through. There will be no type of regulatory environment, no type of understanding or education on the assets. It will just be on what the institutions have already done as far as settling things in cash and making this derivative market work. So uh, the good thing is, again, the market in the short term will grow bigger, right? We'll have an inflated crypto market. Cardano will definitely pump. You're seeing that today. The bad news is this is setting up this the what is it? The environment for a bubble. This is definitely setting up an environment for the bubble because again, if you're saying yes to Cardano, if you're saying yes to Solana, we already have a Doge government agency, so you're going to give Doge something. If you give Doge something and Cardano, really, you give them Cardano something, you have to give I don't see how you tell anyone else no. I just truly don't see how you tell any other project no with a straight face without there being no type of corruption, them going to an appeals court and be like, whoa, how can Cardano, Solana, Dogecoin have their time in the sun? This guy doesn't have a project. This guy has a brand new project. And this guy has a project he said was supposed to be a joke. And you've given them ETFs and regulated derivative markets. Like Pepe, let's get it. Let's dog with it. Farts. I want my farts coin. All right, stripper coin. Let's get it. It doesn't stop. It can't stop. So we will see what happens next. All right, CFTC is in the news. This is kind of like an ongoing story. They've already came out and said, "Hey, we're not going to be doing enforcement by regulation. We're going to be going after fraud." That's what it says here. CFTC announces crypto fraud action after enforcement priorities shift. Again, CFTC Chair Caroline Pham announced on February 4th the commission will essentially end its practice of regulation by enforcement, which again I thought was treasonous because for essentially being innovative, you're going after American citizens and making them pay you in the form of extortion, but whatever. All a person did was resign and no harm, no foul, right? In the February 10th notice, the CFTC said U.S. authorities had charged Rashawn Russell with engaging in a digital assets trading scheme from 2020 to 2022, in which he solicited investors to contribute cryptocurrency to a fraudulent fund. According to the complaint, Russell misappropriated roughly $1.5 million to the scheme, which had him plead guilty to wire fraud in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of New York. He guaranteed no loss to investors. In some instances, guaranteed a minimum of 25% return. I can tell you all now, we're going to see a lot more of these. We're going to see a lot more of these in the crypto space for sure. So essentially, and here's the problem. I'm assuming he probably didn't give people their money because that's usually when they get upset. But you're going to see a lot more of these. Government's going to continue to come down. This is the easy way for them to come down because they know they're probably not getting their cut. But mark my words, you will see a lot more of these. There are a lot of people in the space doing these type of scams and schemes. Unfortunately, it's a pretty big thing in this space. I'll just leave it there for now. I'll leave. I'm foreshadowing something, maybe, hopefully. Well, we'll see. Hopefully not, but who knows? But definitely a foreshadow. There's a lot of people in this space doing those type of dirty moves. Unfortunately, that's all I can say. Crypto breaks ankles while fleeing. Oh, crypto broker breaks ankles while fleeing kidnappers in Spain. So I had to read the story actually before we started because when I first saw it, I was laughing because I was like, "Oh, let me guess, somebody, a kidnapper tried to grab somebody and they juked them or whatever." But it turns out this person actually broke their ankles trying to get away. It's not a funny story. So just want to bring this story up again because it's happening more and more often. We keep talking about it. I keep telling you all, listen, don't let them take you. You can't let them take you. You can't, do not go. If you go, it's going to get ugly to where they get you, where they're going. All right. If they get you to somebody's basement or something somewhere with no cell phone coverage, it's going to be 10 times worse than what they can do to you out in public or wherever else. So I read this story and I definitely want to cover it because we need to be aware that these things are starting to happen more frequently, and you need to be sure to guard your crypto and how you're promoting things and what you're doing. And then B, to shout out this crypto broker for not going. This is what I'm talking about. I want to shout out this crypto broker for not going. Give them an applause. They jacked themselves up, but they're still alive to tell the tale. So give them a hand clap. Let's go ahead and talk about what happened here. All right. So it looks like a search of the apartment in the Spanish town of Estepona, where the broker was held by the kidnappers, uncovered two firearms, knives, drugs, and over 10K in cash. So he was doing some nice little mid-level players out here who may have done what they claimed they were going to do. A UK crypto broker reportedly jumped 30 feet from UK. He's in UK. I thought this was happening somewhere else. Oh, yeah, it happened in Spain, but he's UK. Okay. A UK crypto broker reportedly jumped 30 feet from a balcony to escape kidnappers who are threatening to torture and kill him for his crypto. According to a February 9th report from UK media outlet Metro, 3 British men have been arrested over the kidnapping. The broker reportedly accepted. This is super weird. It happened in Spain, and it was 3 other British people. This is like, did they follow him there? That's super weird. The broker reportedly accepted an invitation for drinks at the kidnapper's apartment in the nearby town of Estepona, and upon arriving, was told to hand over 30,000 euros, which is about $30,917. Ooh, that euro then dropped in value. I thought it used to be 2.4 from his customers' accounts, or to be tortured or killed. Okay, so he had customers, so they probably did know this person. The broker managed to call for help by phoning a friend in London, pretending he was phoning a customer to get his access codes. His friend then called the victim's mother, who called police. Local authorities were able to track down the apartment. If you look at Cointelegraph, they actually have the whole video because the police had body cams on and stuff. I just went to this part. I don't know why they blurred out these thugs' faces. They should have showed it, but you can see the cops getting these folks in. But they literally showed the video from the top of the top with the body cams, them going upstairs. And what's crazy about this video is that the guy who was kidnapped was still there when the police was actually busting it down the place to arrest all these guys. You see one trying to escape in the Audi or whatever. Hey, them boys, hey, there we go. Good old boy. They ran up on him. There we go. Go get them. Look at these thugs. Look at these thugs lying face down trying to do some crypto kidnapping. You look at them. Look, and this, and you never know, right? They looks like they dress well. They got fitted clothes. They got the nice little Audi, right? Like I said, I know these people all through San Diego and LA. It's a bunch of mid to high level, low level. I won't say low, mid level, high mid level dealers. You know what it is. Looks like Metro reports that while the kidnappers were distracted by the police, the broker jumped 30 feet from the balcony, breaking his ankles. And again, I understand how scary that could have been. So let's give this person another hand clap. That's what I'm talking about. In a February 8th statement, Spanish police said when they arrived on the scene, they saw the victim attempting to climb down the apartment balcony before falling to the ground. He was immediately taken to the hospital for treatment of his injuries. A subsequent search of the apartment uncovered 2 firearms, 10,000 euros, a money counter, 3 knives, and 25 grams of pink cocaine. that pink stuff. They got that Diddy coat. All three men were arrested and charged with kidnapping, wounding, because that guy, of course, broke his ankles, belonging to a criminal organization, illegal possession of weapons, and drug trafficking. After a court appearance, they were remanded to prison. So again, this article at the bottom even mentions, hey, they're talking about this article because it's starting to happen more and more often, which is why I'm covering this article, because yes, it continues to happen more and more often. So all I can say is to be safe, watch your six, but do not go. Don't go. Because here's the thing. If the narrative becomes, hey, we could just rob crypto people, they're gonna give it up. Like they're going to give it up. If that becomes the narrative, then that's what's going to happen. Like every time somebody sees somebody in crypto, they're like, oh, we can just crack that. That's an easy 10K. That's an easy 5K. That's easy. Listen, some of you all thinking that just because you don't get that much, they're not coming. Go to Detroit. For $7, you get your skull cracked on broad daylight. So some people can be like, that's an easy $200, right? It doesn't matter the amount. It matters the reputation. And for crypto folks, we got to have the reputation that, hey, not going to go. You're going to have to do whatever you're going to do. And you're going to have to go on that blockchain and hack this money, because it will not be given to you, transferred to you. None of that under any circumstance. And if we get enough people like this guy who are breaking their ankles to ensure it doesn't happen, eventually criminals would be like, bro, this it ain't worth it, bro. You know you're going to have to get password. You're going to have to torture them. Like that's what it's going to come down to. When criminals say you're going to have to torture them. So this isn't going to be a 5-minute thing. We're going to have to find a place to keep these people. We're going to have to actually kidnap them, then find a place to keep them, then get the laptops, the internet connection, VPNs to cover our tracks. Because if we just hack them and we just do it from a regular internet, they're going to trace us down. Like there has to be levels to this. So that's why I'm always preaching. You can't go. I hope it doesn't happen to me, but if I have to be an example, I will set the example. We will not go. I don't got no crypto anyway. They're gonna be pissed off. You about to take this 20 years for nothing. All right. Last but not least, last story of the day. The headline is the story itself. I wasn't sure exactly how many tokens. I said yesterday, I think we were at like 11 to 13. It turns out, I said token states. We are at 19 states officially. North Carolina is the 19th U.S. state to introduce a Bitcoin bill. That's right, Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Bill, HB 92, they're calling it. They just announced it on X. That brings it to 19, with the states, as you can see here, being Alabama, Florida, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Maryland, Massachusetts, Missouri, Montana, New Hampshire, New Mexico, North Carolina, Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, South Dakota, Texas, and Wyoming. And I can say for a fact, I've talked to people in at least 4 or 5 of those states back when Bitcoin was sub $20,000. And this is what's, I mean, actually, a couple of them at like $10,000. And I mean, again, hand clap, happy to see it, but it is also one of those things where it's just like, at what point does the government and states, and especially all the people who've been in power the last 4 to 8 years, at what point do they finally say, hey, I might not be the smartest person in the room. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing. Like, and I have to point that out because again, I'm happy that this has happened, the capitulation, and we said the capitulation was going to happen, but at 100K, now you want to invest? And again, it's so dangerous because they're literally investing at the top. Let's be clear about this, folks. Everyone who's getting in right now is getting in at the tippity at the top of a historical investment, right? You are getting in at the top. And we're expecting a dip eventually, right? We are expecting a dip and you're getting in at the top. Like, it's good to see, but I also can see how this can go wrong, because if we were to get an aggressive dip, 60, 70%, no one can explain why, right? No one, all these theories and all this other stuff. And all it takes is for 1 or 2 states to be like, oh, hell no, we losing too much tax money. And they have those weak hands. Oh man, we'll see 4, 5, 6 more states with weak hands. Next thing you know, the whole market's dipping. Next thing you know, we told you that crypto was some BS. Next thing you know, 2 to 3 year bear market before people get all rich again and do it again, right? But that is the nature of the beast. That's the nature of the psychological trading cycle. And that is the nature of a 30-minute show. Boom, right on time, people. Smash that like and that mofo share. Hey, Steak Chill. You know, I can't be talking about that, but I definitely do. Yes, sir. Shout out to Sear School. If you ever noticed too, right there above the microphone, that's that Sear badge right there. Yes, sir. I'm not gonna go. If I do go, you better know what you're doing too, because we're gonna have us some fun. All right, smash that like and share. Go Google what Sear is if you want to have some fun.